Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this broadcast of Hastings Community Television. We bring you this afternoon a matchup of high school girls varsity softball between the Hastings Raiders and the North St. Paul Polars. I am your broadcast play-by-play announcer, Theodore Tollefson, and with me this afternoon is Owen Ely on color commentary. Owen, how's it going?
Oh, Theo, it's just going great. It's great to be here at the home field, and it's great to be calling the first game of the spring with the River Falls legend, Theo.
Yeah, and I will be staying in that area, and we'll talk about that later. But you want to give a recap of yesterday's game as the head coaches meet at home plate with the umpires?
Yeah, absolutely. So just taking a further pullback view of the last couple of games, or the last couple of days, they've really been packing them in. Doubleheader back on the 4th. But yeah, we were up at Harmon Field over in West St. Paul, and we saw them take on the Henry Sibley Warriors. They lost that one 14-9. It was close in the early goings, and then we had the Warriors kind of pull ahead. Hastings made it a little closer in the top of the 7th, but close game, competitive game, but definitely some things for Hastings to work on. Per my unofficial score sheet, they had 14 walks in that game, so they
Wow.
really loaded the bases several times. So, I think that's something that's correctable, and, I think we're in for a competitive game here this evening, especially considering the last time these two teams played each other, Hastings was on the right side of that one.
Right. So the Raiders have taken the field here, started their warm-ups, and we'll have first pitch here about any minute. And on the mound for Hastings right now is 1 second. Haley Hoff, the junior, starting for the Raiders this afternoon.
And, we saw her back on April 29th. It was a game on the road at South St. Paul, and it was a 14-5 victory, and she was a little bit shaky in the first couple of innings. It was a close game, and then she was lights out for the final 5 innings, basically struck out the side every single time up, and then unfortunately got a little bit sick on the last batter, had to throw up and get pulled out of the game. Almost a complete game. I give her a complete game.
I would have.
It was one heck of a performance, really stuck with it and kind of, leveled down the instability and just had a great game. So, great pitcher on the mound here for the Raiders.
Absolutely. Starting again, the left-hander, and it looks like we'll have a left-hander to start at the home plate for North St. Paul. Martinez, the center fielder for them. So lefty-lefty matchup to start here this afternoon. Umpires getting in their respective positions. First pitch is a ball. Inside. Martinez looked like she was about to have a bunt attempt right there. See if she tries to bring that back again here in that second pitch. One outside high. Yeah, we do have a weird angle, so we don't have the perfect judgment of a strike zone just from where we're sitting as broadcasters. So we'll definitely try to be as accurate as possible. That one high, ball 3.
And it'll be interesting to see if they can land a bunt, because that has had some success against the Raiders in the past couple of games. But on a field like this, I think the ball's not going to die like it has in the past.
No. See if she gets the green light. And she does. That brings strike 1 to Martinez, a 3-1 count. Yeah, it's still a hitter's advantage count. We'll see what she does here. And she takes the walk.
Well, obviously you don't want to overreact to the first batter of the game, and we're certainly not, but this obviously was a bit of an issue for the Raiders in their last game. We'll see how Hoff can respond here.
Definitely not how they wanted to start this game off. I mean, a walk will haunt, as they do in baseball and softball. And now up is Tui, the second baseman for the Polars. I missed that. Was a ball strike. That one's a ball. Looks like Polars aren't wasting any time with bunt attempts with both their first batters.
No, they must have seen something that they liked in the last handful of games for Hastings.
Another ball inside high.
And I'm very curious to see how aggressive the Polars try to get base running. We've seen a couple of teams really try to test the catcher Kendall Jenkins and her arm strength.
That one right through the third baseman. That'll be a base hit for 2. That'll bring up the shortstop for North St. Paul with runners on first and second. No outs. Rebecca. Looks like now with 2 runners on, and an error past the first baseman there, and both runners are advancing.
They send a runner home.
Martinez, score, and now 1-0 Polars already off of a single and a walk.
Well, you hate to see a defensive mistake, and, you know, that's something that I think we've seen, in fairness, with every team in this conference during the softball season. You know, it's interesting with COVID because you have a lot of players who maybe played as a sophomore, did not play as a junior, and are now on the varsity team as a senior. We've seen hitting not suffer this year, a lot of high-scoring games, but defensively, we have seen some mishaps from just about every team we've covered.
Yeah, I mean, that single looked like it could have been easily played by the third baseman on that last play, and then obviously an error, and it looks like another strike there. Rebecca. Probably getting the pronunciation there wrong, so apologies for that. Ball low. And pitch. Full count now on the Polar shortstop with a runner on second. Nobody out. Here at the top of the first. And that is the second walk already for Hoff here in this game. All base runners have reached for the Polars so far. This is their 4th one up. The pitcher for Polars, Anthony. Definitely got an aggressive lead there on second base by Tui. It's a possibility she will take advantage and try to run after a 1-0 count.
And really, that's only going to stop for the Polars if you can throw one of the runners out.
Another ball, low, 2. That one right on the edge of the strike zone, pretty much. Another ball, an already 3-0 count. A lot of hitters counts being worked in the Polars' favor here early.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you're down 3-0 in a count, you know, as a pitcher,
Sorry,
you're kind of in a
2-2.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah. Now it's a full count. Yeah, this is the second full count. Runners taking the lead. And that's coming towards us and behind, foul ball.
I hope nobody was expecting me to make the catch.
I'm not expecting you to really dive off this with the expensive equipment we got around us. And the pitch, very high, and the base is now loaded. Nobody out for the Polars. They'll be bringing up the right fielder, Kubik. And the pinch runner will come in for the pitcher.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is kind of a familiar position for the Raiders. You know, if it's just not going with your pitcher in the early going, it's going to have to fall on the Raiders defensively, maybe to hopefully turn a double play here and just kind of help your pitcher out in some form or fashion.
Right. But the problem is nothing's being hit into play. There just aren't too many strikes being thrown. And those that are pretty much have been taken in all except the single by Tui, who's now at third base. Outside corner. Ball one. That one foul, back behind the bleachers. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cubic. Down and in, good stop by the catcher there, 2-1. That one right through the third base, and it's a base hit. 1 runner is going to score for sure. We got a second one coming around third, and close play at the plate, and they are out. Nice play there by the catcher.
Yeah, great job there by Jenkins to reach the arm out and just hit her right in the knee. Fortunately, some runs will score here for the Polars.
Only 1 run scored, so it's only 2-0, but now that's a huge first out for the Raiders.
And if you're Piney sitting there at third, you know, it's the second time a base hit has gotten past you on the outside, or excuse me, on the inside. You might have to commit a little harder to trying to get a glove on that ball, and even if you can't field it cleanly, at least to stop the momentum there.
And that's the first time this afternoon that Hoff has thrown a first pitch strike in an at-bat here against the catcher Martinez. Nice snap, hopefully can get the runner at first. Both runners on safe, and the bases are yet again loaded on infield single by the catcher Martinez for North St. Paul. They'll bring up the third baseman Kirchhoff. So the bases are loaded for the Polars right now. 1 out. Now you got back-to-back at-bats for Hoff with first pitch strikes, so that's definitely going to help her momentum and at least, you know, getting 1 strike in there. Now one back behind the plate. The runners are going to advance all around the corners. And now 3-0 lead for the Polars here in the top of the first.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but just a quick point on getting ahead in the count. You know, when you get down at the count as a pitcher, sometimes, you know, it can kind of avalanche out of control, 1-0, 2-0.
Right.
You know, I feel like that might be what's going on here with Hastings.
Yeah, you have to wonder how much longer until we might have a mound visit here.
And then when you're down at the count, you know, 3-0, 2-0.
And a foul bunt, that's going to be a strike 2.
You know, you just have to make sure it gets in the strike zone, so you might just put up, you know, an easy hit at that point.
Well, now that eliminates the possibilities of the bunt happening with 2 strikes now in the count, a 1-2 count. First one in the pitcher's favor here this afternoon for Hoff and the Raiders. So runners in scoring position, 1 out, and the pitch. Outside, ball 2. Two count and a hit, heading towards foul territory. Count remain 2-2 for Kirchhoff.
Got a very vocal bench for the Polars. I know almost every softball team, to some degree, you know, is a little chippy during the game, but
yeah, with the runs that they have scored so far, it's definitely given them a huge advantage. The count runs full. And another walk here.
And now that's the 4th walk of the top of the first here for Hoff.
Yeah, 4 walks and 3 singles so far. And now routes on. The first baseman for the Polars up the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out. 3-0 lead. That one hit right to the third baseman, throwing home and safe.
And I know you want to prevent a run there and try to get the force out, but can't help but feel like with not feeling the ball cleanly there, it's probably just best to throw it to first and try to get out number 2 here.
At that play, I was thinking the best move would definitely have gone to third.
Yeah, or
you
that.
drop it, and then you can still outrun the runner, and that's usually what I would do in those situations. But yeah, now it's a 4-0 lead. Only 1 out, and you are at the 8th batter. For the Polars, everyone's gotten an on base in some form. The only out so far has been at the plate.
You know, and the starting pitcher didn't last very long in the last game against Henry Sibley. You just hope the Raiders can try to work out of this because, you know, at her core, Hoff is a strikeout pitcher. When she is going, she will strike out the side. You know, she really has heat and you know, haven't really seen it today so far with, you know,
right,
plenty of game left to be played, but really good accuracy too when she's just in the zone.
Yeah, definitely have been a lot of balls outside the strike zone. And that starts a 1-0 count on route zone. Foul tip there. Brings the count to 1-1.
And it looks like it's Hill Hernandez at the plate.
Oh, I must have added someone. Misread the starting lineup. All right, pitch. Ball 2.
In fairness, that got me the last couple of games. I've never seen a lineup written quite like these lineups.
2-2 count now on Hill Hernandez. That one right to the third baseman, gets through the shortstop as well, and past the left fielder. That's going to score at least 2, and another runner heading towards third, and they are safe. So a 2-run RBI double for Hill Hernandez. That brings the lead now to 6-0 Polars.
Yeah, just a tough start here for the Raiders, you know, as the lead grows, you know, the Polars' confidence is only going to grow. And, I mean, this is the top team in the standings in the Metro East Conference. Definitely there for a reason.
That brings the batter around. So Martinez is back, the center fielder, with a 2-0 count here. And still only 1 out for the Raiders in this top of the first. That one line right to the second baseman. Nice temp step there, and that's going to score at least 1. Runner advancing to second. So that'll be scored as a single. The runner advancing. Now 7-0. Polars here, top of the first.
Well, and I can appreciate the effort there from Triba going all out and trying to get a glove on that one. Just didn't go our way that time.
No, which is unfortunate. It was a nice defensive attempt.
Yeah, you never, at any level, you never can knock effort.
We got a pinch runner coming in now for Hill Hernandez. Brings Tui back up. Swings at the first pitch. That one's going to get down for another base hit. So Luke's going to score 2. Runner advances to second, probably going to get an out here on the rundown, and there's out number 2. Martinez safe at home. That brings the score to now 9-0, but now the Raiders have their second out.
Well, and how about the cannon and the precision there from the center fielder, Renke, to get that ball in right to Hoff and, facilitate out number 2 there. Obviously, you let a run score, and that's never ideal, but that was just perfect placement there.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to get out of that play there was the second out. And now you got nobody on the bases. You can just focus on the hitter. And first pitch, fly ball. Will it stay in play? Nope, out of play. So 0-1 count, pitch. I'll be in the dirt for a ball, 1-1. Another foul tip. This one towards the third base dugout. So 1-2 count on Rubio. And the pitch from Hoff. Down and outside, a 2-2 count. That one to the third baseman and past her. It's getting the runner halfway to second, heading back to first. Called safe. That'll be scored as a single.
And that was a lot closer than it should have been. Rubelke really stretched out there and dove for first.
Yeah, she was practically halfway to second. I thought they were going to get her down there at first, but Rubelke is safe.
And I believe that's the 4th base hit to the third base side of the field here in the first.
Yes, that is. And unfortunately, the third baseman has not been able to really convert any plays on any of the balls hit toward her early this afternoon.
Well, and in fairness, that one is always tricky if it bounces off of the bag.
Foul tip. We got a 1-1 count now on Anthony. Ball 2 down and away. That one called strike now, 2-2 count. Pitch, fouled away. Remains 2-2 count. Yeah, the Raiders are definitely getting eager to head off the field and get some at-bats here and hoping to get this final out at the top of the first.
Well, and I hate to bring this up, and I don't know the rule set completely, but I know the mercy rule is 10 runs. I don't know when that takes effect.
I think after
they are approaching.
After 5 innings, we were told. 2-2 pitch. Runner going, and a strikeout for Hoffer, first of the afternoon. So after a very explosive first inning, the Polars lead a 9-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Raiders will have their first chance to try to get some runs back.
Yeah, just not the best inning for the Raiders. Plenty of game to be played, but by my count, we got 5 walks and a lot of base hits. I mean, really good plate discipline by the Polars to really just extend that inning. And, it's a sizable hole the Raiders find themselves in. And, you don't want to think about getting it all back in one inning. I mean, that's something that's going to have to be done over several innings. So just not to panic, not to think you have to play hero ball on any given play. Just playing consistent, softball like we know the Raiders have this season and just trying to work your way back into this game.
Exactly, Owen. And you know, as long as they can get a run or two back here in the bottom of the first, I should correct myself there. You know, that will hopefully bring some momentum back. And when they get back out on the field, you know, they'll have a little more momentum to work off of.
And unfortunately, I threw away my scorecard from last game, but I know that the leadoff hitter, Kendall Jenkins, had 4 singles in 5 plate appearances in yesterday's game against Henry Sibley. I think Renke had a couple of doubles. Jenkins, I think, had 3 hits. So, you know, the top of the order for the Raiders has really been getting it done. So, you know, they do have a good chance of getting some runners on here. And like you said, maybe getting a run or 2 here to, you know, make it less of a margin.
Exactly. And we got Anthony here pitching for the North St. Paul Polars. So we got a righty-lefty matchup. So Kendall Jenkins, the junior catcher, leading off here for the Raiders in the bottom of the first. Pitch right down the middle, an 0-1 count. Jenkins swinging, 0-2 count. Makes contact, that looks like it'll be in the infield. Caught by the second baseman.
Yeah, good put out made there by Tuhi. Sometimes it can be tough to track those down when they're hit so high, and we do have a little bit of wind here. Pretty sunny out.
Yep. Now Rinley, the center fielder, up at the plate for the Raiders. And fortunately for this time of day, the sun's not really directly over the infield. There's a bit of shadow from the water tower over in left. Otherwise, conditions are pretty fair. That's a foul ball there.
Yeah, and I will say a very scenic view, especially from the perch that we are hoisted on here.
Yeah, we can easily see Wisconsin on one side and Minnesota all around us on the other.
The good and the bad.
And the pitch, that's high. Oh, they called that one a strike. So 1-2 count on center fielder Rentley. And a swing, and that one looks like it will be foul. Left fielder was close for that. One-two pitch. That one called a ball. Polars are certainly making known they did not agree with the ump on that one. So now 2-2 count to Rentley, and the pitch. Swains get past the third baseman, and that is a 1-out single.
Well, nice contact there by Renke, and that's how you get an inning started. Can't really do much unless you have runners on the bases.
And that is something the Raiders certainly needed here, especially before they get 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. So we got a runner on first for the Raiders. 1 out, the pitch. And that one is called high, ball 1.
And I will say Renke better get ready to run because Jenkins and Johnson are the 2 best power hitters on this lineup. So a deep hit to the outfield is certainly a possibility.
Yes, and this is the freshman Warren Jenkins, I believe, at the plate. So we got a 1-1 count on Jenkins. Swings. Looks like that's going to be another infield fly. The F4 recorded by the second base. So now 2 outs. Runner on first for the Raiders, and that will bring up the shortstop, junior Alyssa Johnson.
And very quickly back to Lauren Jenkins. How about that? Only a freshman at hitting number 3 in the lineup.
Quite impressive.
Imagine what she'll be as a senior.
In the same spot. Oh, probably crushing better numbers than she is now.
Well, yeah, true. Not a whole. You can't really move anywhere better than where she is.
First pitch strike on Johnson. Another swinging strike. Pitch. Contact made. That looks like it's going to be in play right to the left fielder, and that is it for out number 3. So after one, we are still at the score of 9-0, leading with the North St. Paul Polars, and we're heading to the top of the second here.
Yeah, obviously not exactly the start offensively the Raiders wanted, but 6 more innings to go. But I do like even though you had 3 flyouts, and that's not something to really be too thrilled about, they were making contact every time with the pitcher. So you got to figure that maybe at some point that'll start going the Raiders' way.
Right. So it looks like we'll have a new pitcher in here for the Raiders, Carly Schmidt, the sophomore, number 9. So now the Polars will have to adjust to hitting off a righty versus a lefty, and with a very right-handed heavy lineup for both teams here this afternoon. That should change some perception.
And we did see Schmidt coming in for Hoff in the...
Oh, are we on the camera now? The sun's glaring right into us, so that's why I can't really see.
Well, like I said, we did see Schmidt in the last game come in for Hoff. Still had some of the control issues that Hoff had. But this is really a 2 starting pitcher lineup for the Raiders. It's either Hoff or it's Schmidt, and sometimes Mackenzie Tribe, the second baseman, will come in and pitch in relief. But if you're Schmidt, you essentially just have to take this as a start coming in the second. You're here for hopefully the long haul.
Well, in modern Major League Baseball terms, we just saw an opener, and now it's going to the bulk of the bullpen. But obviously, at this level, you're still going to see the pitchers get 4 to 5 innings no matter what and how they're performing. So first pitch, swinging. Nice play there. And, close pickoff, and we got a runner leading off, and will be scored as an E3. So Kubik reaches first on an error by the first baseman.
Well, that was great fielding there by Jessica Piney, but the throw was just a little bit to the outside.
So we got Martinez up again, the catcher for the Polars. Runner on first, no one out. First pitch, strike. Second pitch is high for a ball. So 1-1 count here. And the pitch, another play right to the third baseman, and not in time at second. Runner reaches on first, so we got runners on first and second yet again to lead off for the Polars, and there's nobody out. One thing I'm noticing is Schmidt is definitely getting more strikes in, even with the few pitches she's thrown so far.
Yeah, seems to have pretty good control here.
And I think we're just going to call that one a wild pitch, or was there time called? I think there was time called, so I don't think that one's going to count. Wait for the umps ruling. All right, no count, so that throw did not count. So this pitch, foul tip. Oh, that one did. So it is a 1-1 count on Kirchhoff. Runners taking small leads. Pitch from Schmidt. That's another ball. Runners thought about going. Definitely taking big leads here. In the top of the second for the Polars.
Well, it's something we saw the Warriors do yesterday. I think they had 6 stolen bases.
That one's foul tipped, so 2-2 count on Kirchhoff. Yeah, I will say that after this pitch, so it's a full count now on Kirchhoff. at least these first 2 plays for Pine are a redemption from the first inning. You know, she's making good defensive plays and good throws, but obviously the first one was an error by the first baseman. And pitch. That one in be a foul ball. Count remains full. And then, you know, the second play, runner just got to second quicker than the throw. So
yeah, just the fielder's choice. Well, I'm not so sure on the first one.
she had a good
Trapp's
throw
fault.
over. It bounced and then went past the first baseman. So I scored it as an E3. That one looks like it is going to be fair, just in play, and that's going to score at least 1 run for the Polars here. Runners advancing to second and third. So another RBI double for Kirchhoff. After having a full count, it's now 10-0. That'll bring up Rodzon. First pitch from Schmidt. Made contact right away, and that one's going to drop for a base hit. Runner heading home from third. Runner advances from second to third and is now 11-0 on an RBI single.
And again, there, good arm from Ranke might have saved that runner from second heading home on that one.
Absolutely. So now that brings up Hill Hernandez. Runners on the corners, nobody out.
And Hill Hernandez had a double back in the first inning.
First pitch strike. Pitch from Schmidt. That one hit right to the first baseman. That at least going to, fumbles and still gets the first out. Runner scores, so a sacrifice, fielder's choice for Hill Hernandez. Now 12-0. Polars. Runner advances from first to second, so they'll bring up Martinez for her third at bat. Oh, and we're only in the second inning. First pitch is high, ball 1. Another pitch low, ball 2 from Schmidt. So we got a 2-1 count now. Just Schmidt got a strike in there. Down around the knees. And the pitch. Foul tip, 2-2 count. Now on Martinez. Yeah, another thing I noticed is that Schmidt's taking a little less time than Hoff to just get the pitches out there in her delivery. And that one hit right past. That's probably going to get 1 at first. And the Polars my mistake. The Raiders get their first out here in this inning.
Yeah, both pitchers really working fast, and that was just an all-around great play there from Triba to go out there and get that one up the middle and then to have the clean throw there over to first.
My mistake. The last play was a fielder's choice, so that is their second out. It's already been a long game. Ball in the dirt. Count runs 2-0 on Tui. Runner on third, 2 outs here for the Polars, and the pitch. 3-0 count. We'll see if Tui gets the green light here with the runner on third. And that is a 4-pitch walk for Tui by Schmidt. Now bring up Rubelki. So runners in the quarter, 2 outs, And a pitch in the dirt. Starts a 1-0 count here. Fouled towards third base dugout by Rubelki. The count runs 1-1. Pitch high and outside. Schmidt with the windup, and that one is hit right towards the left fielder. And that will be the third out here in the inning.
Yeah, that was Olivia Matson out there making the running catch out in deep left field.
Definitely, and had to work with the shadows there. So after 1.5, the score is now 12-0 Polars as they tag on 3 more runs after their explosive first inning. And we now head to the bottom of the second. Raiders looking to get their offense going here. And leading off for them will be the first baseman, Olivia Trapp, Jr.
Well, I just want to take this time to give a special shout out to anybody tuning in on HCTV, whether it's the TV portion or on the Facebook live stream. And one would hope that Reagan Hooverman, while he's out getting his vaccine right now, would be tuning into this game.
I'll be getting my second one tomorrow myself, so yeah, hopefully he's doing so, and hope he is handling it well, but obviously the second shot can be a little more stronger than the first one for some people. So Anthony remains on the mound here in the bottom of the second for the Polars. Getting her last practice pitch in, and a typical throw down to second.
And again, I'll be very interested to see how the Raiders do here in the second. They made a lot of contact in the first inning, but only had 1 hit.
So Trapp, yet again, leading off here in the bottom of the second. The first pitch down and away for ball 1. Anthony with her windup. That one in for strike. Count runs to 1-1. One pitch. That one hit right past the third baseman, and that one will get in for a base hit for Trapp. Raiders get their first leadoff runner of this game, and this is crucial for them. So now we have Trilla, the second baseman, at the plate, and that one past the first baseman and heads into foul territory, so no count runs to 0-1. Yeah, that could have been a one and done for Trilla there. Fortunately, she got the ball past the first baseman a little bit and remains at the plate. 0-1 pitch. Count runs to 0-2. Kenzie Triba, junior second baseman. And the pitch, strike 3.
Yeah, Triba really trying to put a lot of mustard on that one.
Yeah, definitely swinging for the fences. But went down swinging at least and not looking. That's always the most crucial thing to do. So this brings up Carly Schmidt with Hoff out of the game.
And obviously that's unfortunate for a handful of reasons. Obviously you want to see your pitcher go longer, but Hoff also a really, really good batter. You know, came in for a handful of innings in the last game, and I believe she had 2 or 3 hits on 3 plate appearances, all singles, so really seeing the ball here.
And the pitch from Anthony. Down and away. Count runs to 3-0. We'll see if the green light is given to Schmidt here, or if did not have the green light. Count runs to 3-1 on Schmidt. Three-one pitch. Contact made by Schmidt, but that one runs foul past the first baseline. Now we got a full count. Runner on first, one out here for the Raiders.
And I always think it's smart to not give a green light on a 3-0 count and really just make the pitcher. You have a handful of pitches to work with there. Really make sure that they put the ball in the strike zone, and the potential for the walk.
Yeah, in these circumstances for the Raiders with only a runner on first and one out, that's definitely one where you want to. And the ball's hit towards the second baseman. We get a force out, and it looks like we got a double play here. So with that, Raiders get one base runner, a strikeout, and a double play. After two full, the Polars still lead 12-0.
Yeah, and that's really how double plays have to get done in softball. It's very rare, with the size of the softball and in the field and the speed of the girls, to have a ball hit to the shortstop and get the throw to second and then the throw to first. There's usually not enough time for that. So double plays are pretty rare in the games we've covered, and I suppose that's how it has to get done. Great defensive sequence there for the Polars.
For sure. So Schmidt will return to the mound here in the top of the third for second inning of work. Looking to get through the full inning, as in the high school level they usually do, whether it's softball or baseball.
Well, we're slowly going the right direction. We got 9 runs in the first, 3 in the second. Hopefully a goose egg here in the third.
And Schmidt definitely did not give up too many walks, if any at all, I believe, in the second. Let me just double check my score sheet. She did not. So, actually, no, she gave up one to Tui, the second baseman, for the Polars. So 1 walk compared to the 5 in the first, which is a huge difference as walks haunt throughout this game.
Well, isn't that the truth?
Yes. So we got the pitcher Anthony leading off here for the Polars in the top of the third. First pitch. Anthony's swinging at one in the dirt. Foul tip. Count runs to 0-1. One pitch from Schmidt. Down. And I think that hit the pitcher. Oh, yeah, Anthony is the pitcher. So, yeah, it hits the pitcher. It's a free base. So that brings up Kubik with a runner on first. Nobody out. And the pitch from Schmidt. In the dirt. Count runs a 1-0.
Yeah, Kubik in 2 plate appearances has reached both times here this evening.
Yeah, single in the first, reached on error by the first baseman in the second. So we got a 2-0 count here. That one high and away. Anthony thought about running but didn't go through with it. 3-0 count. We'll see if Kubik gets the green light. And we'll extend this Polar lead. And ball 4. Second walk for Schmidt this afternoon, first of this inning. So runners on first and second, nobody out. But that'll bring up the catcher Martinez. And the first pitch, made contact, ball stopped. They're going to get the runner going towards third. So lead runner on F6. And the Raiders get a huge first out. and keep runners at first and second.
Yeah, Piney just really having a tough evening here, getting the glove on the ball, bailed out there by the shortstop Johnson.
And that first pitch there is a high fly ball. A nice diving attempt by the right fielder, but that's going to score at least one. Nope, not going to score. The runner's going to hold at third. So now the bases are loaded. After Kirchhoff here, it's a high single into the outfield. A nice attempt by the right fielder of the Raiders. That'll bring up a route zone with the bases loaded.
That's Lauren Jenkins out there in right field.
Well, in this instance, in the top of the third, the Raiders at least have one out with the bases loaded, and the pitch is high, just a bit outside for ball one. On route zone. Next pitch, lower, still high, ball two.
Well, this pitch right here is very crucial. You don't want to get down 3-0 with the bases loaded.
No. And the pitch is ball three in the dirt. And in the case of the bases being loaded, the green light is usually given with a 3-0 count and one out, no matter what level of ball you're playing. Pitch from Schmidt, and that's going to walk home a run. Is now 13-0. Polars. So I'll bring up Hill Hernandez.
Well, unfortunately, we've seen this sequence every single inning. Runners get on, whether it's errors or walks or a hit by a pitch. We've really seen the bases get juiced here in the early part of the inning. And
right, and only one base runner this inning has reached on a single, and that was Kirchhoff, two at bats go. Hill Hernandez making contact, and that one just getting by the third baseman, heading into foul territory, so the count runs 1-on-1.
I mean, if there's one thing that the Raiders are finding out, it's that you certainly can't give away bases for free. And
no,
you know, they've been giving a lot of bases away for free the last couple of games.
So we got the bases loaded here, one out. 1-1 count, pitch is high and away, and the runners will not advance on that one.
And this is a Raiders team that just a couple of days ago beat this North St. Paul team, I believe 14-5.
Mm-hmm.
Really put it on them.
Yeah, definitely not having the home field advantage for either team in these matchups so far. And that one is made right to the left fielder. The runner's going to tag from third, and they are going to be safe at home plate. Other runners stay at their bases, so now 14-0 on a sac fly by Hill Hernandez that scored the catcher.
Well, and it's
Actually,
funny.
no, that scored Mark Kubik, I believe. Yes.
It's funny you mentioned home and away and home field advantage. The Polars 4-2 record on the road, and the Raiders actually 2-3 at home. So really going against what you would think it would be for most teams.
Second pitch, down and away, ball two. Center fielder Martinez here with runners on first and second. 2 outs here for the Raiders.
Fourth time being at the plate this game.
So 3-0 count. Raiders only given up 2 runs this inning compared to 9 in the first, 3 in the third. And that's ball 4. Bases loaded yet again for the Raiders.
Now, it's actually kind of funny with Martinez, you know, 4 plate appearances, 2 of them coming in the first and 2 of them coming in the third. So
right,
really seeing time in critical innings.
Actually, the 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third so far. That's how it's been lined up. And another ball to second baseman Tui. Schmidt not really getting too many strikes here in the second, and it'll work for her. 1-0 pitch in the dirt, get it away from the catcher. The runners are going to advance all around. The ball gets past Schmidt. So now it is a 15-0 game with runners at second and third.
you gotta wonder, not that there's a leash on Schmidt, but at some point do you just mix it up here on the second pitcher and try to go to Triber, or how long do you let Schmidt try to work out of some of these innings?
Well, as of right now, the Raiders need to score 5 runs before the 5th, before this is called a mercy rule game. During the 5th, I believe.
Never a good position to be in.
No. So they need to make it at least a 15-5 game by the end of the 5th. And they still got 3 turns at bat before then, so maybe something will come around. The pitch. And so he gets walked here, so that is now the 4th walk this inning by Schmidt. Bases loaded yet again for the Polars. And that'll bring up back. And that pitch is ball in the dirt, 1-0. One-0 pitch from Schmidt. And she gets a strike back in there. Count goes to 1-1. The pitch. 2 straight strikes from Schmidt. 1-2 count. That one just a little high. Ball 2. Schmidt was working ahead in the count there just for a minute. Now, count runs full. That one hit right to us, almost hit us.
Well, that one was a screamer right for Hunter's head.
Yeah, I probably would have jumped in and thrown my hand if it didn't look like it was going to hit the corner. Full count pitch. And that one's not heading towards us, but towards the center fielder. It looks like she'll be able to record it out. And that ends the top half of this 3rd inning. So, the Polars score 3. It is now a 15-0 game after 2.5.
Well, talking about the positives, I like the defensive game of Renke. I think she's made a bunch of nice plays out there in center field, but we got to see something from the Raiders here offensively. I think they're in a good spot here. Dombrowski has some good speed if she can get on base. We've seen Matson have some success at the plate these last handful of games, and then you're right back at the top of the order. So really, the next 5 hitters, there's no better 5 to pick for the Raiders. So
right,
there's no time like the present, and it'd be nice to see a little bit of life from this team in the form of some runs here in the 3rd.
So Anthony's returning to the mound here with a very comfortable lead of 15-0 in her 3rd inning of work. And Dombrowski is leading off, the freshman infielder.
That's probably the biggest crowd we've seen all year watching this game.
Well, as more and more people get vaccinated, I think the crowd sizes are going to keep growing no matter where you find yourself sporting event-wise across the state of Minnesota. Spring will turn into summer, but definitely feeling the spring weather here today. I mean, still a beautiful day, but definitely feeling the wind.
Yeah, wow, that's true.
So Dombrowski leading off here for the Raiders. First pitch, little outside, ball 1.
And that was some absolute heat thrown there. That was as fast as you can throw.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, what is it, like most high school softball players can throw in the mid to high 80s.
Not too shabby.
And obviously, just, the difference between baseball and softball these days is not, softball pitchers are just their wind-up and their delivery. They don't have to work extensively to get up to that 90, 100 miles per hour and that push that a lot of high schoolers in baseball And that's a strike, so we got a 2-1 count. You know, where a lot of guys, especially in our age group and younger, have been getting Tommy John surgery much younger in their lifetimes than they should have, because they've been trying to work their arms up so hard to throw to 100 miles per hour at a young age. So
Yeah, well, isn't that the truth when you look at the trend?
yeah, a guy who was in my graduating class in high school got drafted by the Mariners back in 2017. Up until this current minor league season, and that's a walk for Dombrowski. So leadoff runner on again for the Raiders.
And they've used Dombrowski as a pinch runner their last couple of games, so that is the perfect player to have. Probably the quickest player on the team.
See if she tries to get a stolen base. First pitch here to Matson. Called a strike. So no 1 count. Yeah, Dombrowski definitely holding her lead safely right now on first. Nobody's out, so I don't know if they're going to try to run her. And a foul tip by Matson. That went over the bleachers behind the plate. Count already won it 0-2.
Well, I think if it's a closer game, you probably get a bigger lead, but when you're down by 15, there's no need to risk having a runner on getting thrown out.
No, definitely not. And the 0-2 pitch away. Count runs to 1-2 on Matson. Matson, a junior here at Hastings High School. In the pitch. Ball 2, working the count into our favor. 2-2 pitch. That one hit right to the third baseman, and that will be out number 1.
Wow, Kirchhoff flashing the leather there. Split second to react. Dombrowski getting back safely, so the pitch now. Jenkins getting her second at bat here in the third. And a fly ball to the first baseman for out number 2 in foul territory. Keeping Dombrowski safe at first with 2 outs. So you have to wonder now if they're just going to send her if there gets to be a 2-strike count here on Renke. And that is the 5th flyout of the game for the Raiders. Really making contact, but just kind of in the wrong spot. Only 1 strikeout so far, and that was Trillo back in the Trivo, I'm sorry, in the second. So 0-1 count here on Renke. Another junior here at Hastings High School. 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one called strike 2, very high. Oh-2 pitch. That just getting called safely for Renke. That's ball 1. Polar's definitely making it know that the ump got that one wrong. And the pitch. Fouled and white, count remains 1-2. Well, and that one's going over to Walmart. It was close. Almost just hit the fence. And in fairness, nobody really lets the ump know when he's making a good call. No. And the pitch. That one's definitely down and away. That's going to get Dombrowski over to second. So that brings a runner in scoring position, but with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third for Renke at the plate. 2-2 pitch. Fouled and away. Count remains 2-2. Anthony with the 2-2 pitch, and that one is also going to head foul. Good contact here by Renke to keep the at-bat alive. Oh, and that one's heading for the sewer. They might make it in. Keep an eye and let us know. Oh, and it went down the sewer. It went in.
And 2-2 pitch, and that one's going to get hit right to the shortstop for out number 3. And that wraps up the 3rd inning. So after 3 full here at Hastings High School, the Polars still lead 15-0 heading into the top of the 4th inning.
And I'm not trying to say that this game would be close if this happened, but it is crazy. 6 flyouts in 3 innings. I mean, they are making contact. I mean, I'm not saying it should be, but I mean, you could very easily see, especially with a speedy runner like Dombrowski and some of these batters that have got on, because they have had a batter on every inning. I mean, it could be a 15-3 game, and I mean, that's still pretty far out, but at least you're scoring runs, and the offense is kind of chugging along.
And they're just hitting them right where they are. And now the shadows are moving into the infield as the sun goes down a little further from the water tower. So Carlos Schmidt is staying out there on the mound right now, getting her warm-up pitches in.
And it's kind of crazy to say, but we're past the halfway point on the season, and spring season's always a little bit shorter than the other ones, and we've dealt with cancellations from the weather, from COVID, from other current events that were happening in Minneapolis, and the season's kept moving on. They've really been packing in the games here the last couple of days, and we're slowly or actually rather quickly coming to a screeching halt here on the season.
Right.
You kind of make a comparison to like Major League Baseball where, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and you have these long stretches. And, I mean, if you get cold for 3 weeks in the high school softball season, I mean, that's basically
most of your season.
That's most of your
college
season.
level too, collegiate level. You see that a lot too. But yeah, once you get into that professional and amateur level, you got a good 3 months, and you have one stretch of a couple bad weeks. You can definitely turn that around. But obviously, at this level of baseball, softball play, you definitely want to stay hot as long as possible. So that was a first pitch ball to the pitcher, Anthony, from Schmidt. So 1-0 count. Ball 2.
She was hit by a pitch in her last at-bat.
Yeah. Everyone's been batting around for the Polars each inning. And hopefully this will stop the bleeding for the Raiders this at-bat. And a 3-0 count now here on Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there have been some hot batters for the Polars, but really no weak spots. Everybody is just getting it done collectively.
And that one's hit right to the center fielder. And another F8. So Raiders getting a huge first out.
And again, I'll keep saying it because you got to focus on the positives. I'm really liking. I mean, is that Byron Buxton out there in center field? I mean,
well,
Ranky's just having.
Buxton got put on the DL just earlier this afternoon, right before we went on air. So for 1-0 pitch to Kubik. So the Twins are going to be out with their star center fielder for a week and a half, but they're playing in Detroit this weekend, so hopefully that should be an easy sign of turning things around.
Yeah, they're not off to a good start, are they?
No. 1-0 pitch. Outside. 2-0.
If they were playing the softball season, they would definitely miss the playoffs there.
Well, it's a 162 season, and they still got plenty of time to turn it around, so hopefully this weekend will finally be it, and that is ball 3. Schmidt still struggling to find the strike zone here in the top of the 4th. 3-0 pitch. Kubik swings, have the green light. Count runs 3-1. Three 1 pitch. And that one's in there for a strike from Schmidt. Count runs full, so. Oh no, that was a strikeout. I must have missed a strike somewhere. So backwards K for Schmidt.
And now what is that, the second strikeout of the game for a Raiders pitcher, or is it 3?
Only the second one for the Raiders.
Wow.
So the catcher Gabby Martinez now up the plate for the Polars. With 2 outs, nobody on. first run in the mill for the Raiders, saying that. And a couple of pitches in, and it's 2-0 count. Schmidt running into a 3-0 count yet again. And the pitch, outside ball 4. So that is now Schmidt's sixth walk this afternoon in 2 2/3 inning work.
And we had 5 walks from the starter as well, I believe.
Ball 1 to Kirchhoff.
So they're on pace to eclipse the 14 walks they had last night, except in what likely will be a 5-inning game.
Mm-hmm. Raiders still currently need to score at least 5 in one of their bottom halves they have remaining to keep this game alive. And the pitch in the dirt for ball 3 on Kirchhoff. Each batter this inning has been started with a 3-0 count. Schmidt has found a way to work back from all but 1. 3-0 pitch. Outside part of the zone, gets called a strike. The 3-1 pitch. Called for strike 2. Full count. And has worked for ball 4. So back-to-back walks by Schmidt.
And I want to make this point here. You know, you could look at the offense being scoreless here through 3 innings, and sometimes offenses don't score, you know, in a 3-inning stretch. But if they scored 4 runs every inning, they still would be pretty far out of this game. You know, even if the offense isn't working, or even if it is, I mean, you just can't be allowing, you know, 9 runs in the first and 3 every inning since. It looks like there might be a pitching change here.
Schmidt being pulled out, and looks like we got
Annabelle Doman
coming in to finish this inning. So Schmidt had a 2 2/3 of innings of work. We had Hoff just pitch the first.
But to kind of continue my point there, you know, it almost squarely falls on the pitching and the defense for the Raiders. I mean, no game, unless you just have just a historic offensive effort, no game is going to be close when the play works this way. And some of it is bad luck, obviously.
Yeah,
you know, some of the balls landing well.
Today.
But obviously there are some things to clean up.
So the Polars here in the top of the 4th have 2 runners on from walks by Schmidt. 2 outs recorded here. And this is their 5th batter to come up this inning. Still no runs scored, and this is the first scoreless inning so far for the Raiders, and they're hoping to keep it that way with Dahan coming in. That brings in Rotzan at the plate. First pitch, high and away, ball 1. That one hit right to the shortstop at Alver Glove. That's going to score at least 1 run. The Polars, now a 16-0 lead.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about with, you know, cleaning some stuff up, but also the bad luck. I mean, you get a glove on it. I mean, the out is right there, but you're just a fraction of a second behind, and you know, tough there for Doman. I mean, most relief pitchers don't come in necessarily good situations, but with the bases juiced there, you know, hard to blame her at all for the run scoring
there. So it
there.
looks like we got a new hitter here for the spot Hill Hernandez was hitting in earlier today.
going to be Aaron Donovan.
First pitch to Donovan, strike one. Donovan already running an 0-2 count. And this rate, you have to expect the Polars might be putting some players in just to get some playing time with such an extensive lead, and it's a strikeout for Donovan to end the inning. So the damage is minimal compared to previous innings against the Raiders. Polars only score 1 on 2 walks in an error committed by the shortstop, and that brings the lead for them to 16-0 as we head into the bottom of the 4th.
Well, again, trending the right way. I mean, only 1 run scored there, but, the game a little bit out of hand. And, yeah, I think you're right. The substitution rules are incredibly relaxed for softball. So I'd have to imagine we'd probably see the entire bench here in the next inning or so.
And a half, yeah.
I mean, we usually see that anyway, even in close games, but certainly in a game that's 16-0, we'll see some new players here for the Polars.
Right.
Well, we mentioned the schedule wrapping up here. Looking ahead for the Polars, or excuse me, the Raiders, they only have 5 games remaining. So they'll come back on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They'll play a home against Simley. Excuse me, the road game on Wednesday is actually going to be postponed. So then on Thursday, they'll go to Tartan. They'll play South St. Paul at home on the 18th, and then they'll close out the season on the road at Burnsville.
Oh, all right. So the first pitch to Jenkins there, strike. So lead off the bottom of the 4th.
And that's one of the things you got to appreciate about high school softball. They waste absolutely no time in between half innings. I mean, it's 40 seconds at most.
1-1 pitch. Called a strike. 1-2 count on Jenkins. That one a little outside. Ball 2. Two-two pitch. Catches Jenkins swinging for out number 1. Now bring Johnson back up here. The 1 out. And the pitch. Big swing on that one. 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Fouled away. It's the back fence. Count runs 0-2 on Johnson, just like that. Oh, 2 pitch, fouled back. That bat stays alive for Johnson. Oh, 2 pitch, in the dirt, ball 1. One, 2 pitch. Called a strike. That's 2 down. Here in the bottom of the 4th. That brings up, let's see, Abby trapped the first baseman.
That's a hot start for Anthony here in the 4th. 2 consecutive strikeouts.
First pitch fouled away towards the first base dugout. 0-1. pitch. Trap swinging, brings it to 0-2.
And Trapp is really swinging for the fences there.
Mm-hmm. 0-2 pitch, fouled away, cannot be completed by a catcher. At bat stays live. Count remains 0-2. Two pitch, outside and away. Trap swings anyway. Swinging, so 1-2-3 inning here for the Polars. All batters retired, striking out the side. Head to the top of the fifth. Score remains 16-0. Polars over the Raiders.
Yeah, Anthony's striking out the side.
I think it is going to be called here. It's 15 after 4. I think it was right earlier that it's after 4 innings with the mercy rule.
Well, maybe there's a different mercy rule for 15 versus 10.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I think that's the end of this one.
Yeah, so definitely not the game we were hoping to see here today, but it's the game that we got for the Raiders high school softball. So yeah, the fans also looking a little disappointed and heading off after a very one-sided game all around.
Yeah, understandably so. So Hastings is going to drop to 5-6. The Polars advance to 9-4, staying atop the Metro East Conference. And I believe with that, we'll look to wrap it up here. So special thanks to Theo Tollefson, Owen Ely, Hunter Pinky, Ian Andrusak, and Max Slocum. This is HCTV Sports.
Thanks for watching.